How do you find your hand in someone's crotch accidentally?
Oh, no, I didn't say that. I wasn't implying that, Treva.
Oh, oops.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Second Act TV. So happy to welcome back Treva Brandon Scharf, the author of Done Being Single, sitting right here behind me. Fabulous book. Treva, thank you so much for being here again.
I love coming here. I love it. I think you and I should just say we are going to be sister wives. Just get Paul and Robbie to get on board, and it'll be so much easier that way.
Oh, so much easier. Well, we're going to talk about making things easier today for our men. I really want to get your opinion on this. I ran across an article that it's advice for men written by a man, which I think is interesting because does a man know how we think or what we want? And I question this all the time in other segments as well, when women tell women how men think. So I'll preface it by saying that. Mm-hmm. But this is about helping men understand if a woman is into him. How do you tell if somebody really likes you? But apparently that's a big question. That's what this author says here. And I know you address that in your book, lots of advice, but let's specifically go through what men find out there. If they Google this, here's advice. Let's see if it's good. The first one, she is always available to meet you. If the woman is, like he's saying here, if a woman who likes you will always make herself available for you.
I think that's true. I don't think she'll make herself overly in the beginning. That's, you got to have a little mystery. You want to, right? We're taught to not go full blast in the beginning, but sure. Yes, I'm into you. Yes, I would like to take this further. Yes.
Yeah, it's what I find interesting about this, Treva, is that I agree. Obviously, if she makes herself available, but how does he know that she is changing plans around? I mean, he probably doesn't, but that she does go through all those steps, which incidentally I do. And then all of a sudden you do come off as being maybe a little too available. Is that something we should consider there as women? And when we do, are we sending wrong signals to the poor guys out there who are trying to figure it out?
No, I think I love clear communication. Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody should have to guess. Yeah. I don't like games. Mm-hmm. I think it's childish and silly. Yep. And it shows your insecurity. So yeah, be clear. And why not just say, yes, I'd like to see you again.
The second one here seems obvious, but there is a little thinking that goes into this. She's responsive to messages, meaning if the guy texts her, or be it on Facebook, on the dating app, whatever, she answers right away. Yes. That is indicative that she really likes you.
Yes, absolutely. Again, with the games, if you feel it, good, say it, communicate it. Don't tiptoe around. You don't need to do that anymore. We're all adults here. I hear the voice of my mother in my head saying, and I say this in the book, I remember landlines when you had a house phone, and she, if I had a boy calling or boys were calling, she'd say, don't answer the phone on the first ring. You don't want to appear too anxious.
That's so funny. Exactly. And that is still in our head. In a way, this segment may be more advice to women than for men, because both of these so far go into or made me think about the games we are taught to play, and that they're not dangerous, but they certainly don't serve a purpose, really. It's just putting on some fake behavior.
It's the dance. Mm-hmm. It's old-fashioned, it's traditional romance, it's courting, this is what you did. It's a dance, right? And that's how we were raised. I don't know so much today. I think people are way more direct, which I like. I like that. I don't believe in a 3-day rule. I don't believe in letting a text. I mean, come on, we all live on our phones, people.
Right, right.
Don't tell me that you didn't see my text. Oh my God. I don't care if you're a guy or a
Yeah.
gal. You see it. You see it come in. It's you're playing little tricks or little games to
Mhm.
show that to indicate that you're just so busy.
Yeah. Well, and again, I guess that, so yes, if she's responding quickly, if she keeps that conversation going or the contact going, yeah, you're on the, headed in the right direction if you're interested in
Oh
going
yes,
there.
yes, yes, yes.
This also, she's engaged during conversations, that she'll be very attentive and engaged and listen. And I love this. She laughs at your jokes, even if they're not funny.
Yeah. Yes, and yes, and yes. Yes, she's not on her phone. She's not distracted. I mean, you can
Mhm.
make that argument about anybody, male or
Right,
female, right?
right.
What's it called? Fubbing? Fubbing? Is that the new
Yes,
term?
fubbing. Oh, we did a great segment on that
Yeah,
with Joni.
that's just the rudest,
Rudest.
terrible habit. People are, they have their phones on on the table. I mean, really,
Right,
you're going to answer the phone if it rings on a date? No, put
right.
it away, put it in your pocket, put it in your purse, forget it. So if somebody is into you, or cares, or
Mhm.
is interested, or is curious, they will maintain eye contact with you. They will
Yes.
nod. They will not look around. My father had a term. My father was an agent, and at major studios, they have what are called commissaries. He'd always say, "Yeah, I had lunch with so and so today. He has commissary eyes." Commissary eyes. So that person, the person across the table was like this, just looking around, looking to see who else was in the room, who was bigger, better deal, whatever. He called that commissary eyes. So when somebody's into you, nothing else should exist.
Mhm. That's a great example. Great example. It's not, yeah, she's not looking for, something else to entertain her or catch her
Yes,
eye, but
right,
she's
right, right.
totally into you. Yeah, I totally agree. And I think it's fun. You do laughing at someone's jokes, or you want them to, well, feel good. It builds them up. And I think women go out of their way to do that. Like you said,
Oh
even if
yes. Yeah,
it's not funny.
and by the way, who of us are professional comedians? No one is, unless you're on a date with Bill Maher, which I was. I did. I had a date. Why not? And he's super funny. And yes, we laughed uproariously.
Yeah. Well, and and if you can make a woman laugh, that's huge.
Oh
Somebody
yes,
that can
yes.
make you laugh is yeah, that's very attractive. Here's another one that is getting harder and harder, I suppose, to do is she touches you. Well, maybe
Yes.
it's easier for a woman to touch a man than a man to touch a woman. But that touching somebody, on the hand or on the
Yes.
arm, and
Yes.
that's very indicative.
Oh yes. That's a nice
Mhm.
sign. That again, a lot of this applies to just life. So yes.
Yes.
So, like a pat on the arm, or, I totally get what you mean. You know,
Hmm.
something like that. It doesn't have to be creepy. It
Hmm.
doesn't have to be suggestive. But yes, a little touch, just like a little reassurance,
Yeah.
is very powerful, actually.
It's a good sign. He points out that this is really funny too. Watch for the accidental touch, because there isn't, he's saying they're not really accidental when you brush up. That's actually a really great way for a woman to show a man she's interested.
Yes, yes. She obviously feels safe
Yeah.
and enough to establish that kind of bodily contact. That's a big signal, guys. Wow. Shit. I wouldn't do that, but I mean, I would touch a guy. I'd like put my hand on his shoulder or his elbow and say, yeah, that's,
But yeah,
you know,
swiping up against, or when you're sitting at dinner,
rubbing.
accident. Yeah.
No. How do you find your hand in someone's crotch
Oh no,
accidentally?
I didn't say that. I wasn't implying that, Treva.
Oh, oops, my hand just fell in your pants.
Well, if it does, great sign. Oh, that is too funny. That is too funny. God, I miss talking to you.
I know, me too.
Here's another interesting one, I think. She always seems to be around. I guess what he's saying here is if you all of a sudden she's always around, not in a creepy way, but
Mhm.
you seem to run into her more and more often. That's a great sign.
Ah, within reason. I'm going
Mhm.
to, that's not a full green light, but it's not a red flag either. It's somewhere
Mhm.
yellow light a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. You don't want to come off looking like a stalker.
Right.
And, again, I sort of go back to my traditional roots as sort of an old fashioned, um, courtship fan. Like I just, within reason, you should be pursuing. Like that feels
Mhm.
very like pursuit. You're really making the effort. You're actually going to those places where
Right.
I mean, I think you can put yourself in any situation where you're going to have like interaction. Okay, that's
Mhm.
cool. And if this particular person, for example, that is maybe in your office building, okay, that's good. Where he gets his coffee in the morning,
Yeah.
like
When he
that.
takes lunch.
Yeah, okay, that's okay. That's pretty innocent.
Yeah.
But to show up in certain places at certain times, knowing, beware.
That one felt a little weird too, because I have to admit that I've done that. I've, oh, I think if he's going to be here, then
Sure,
I'm going to
yes,
be
yes,
there.
yes.
So I fully admit I've done it, but that can go to the extreme. Here, you've alluded to this before, her body language, that nothing speaks more, than body language. I'm going to look at my notes here. And then what body language signals you should look for. And you said that prolonged eye contact, lots of smiles, leaning towards you, and being in, she's in your personal space. Talk to me about that.
Yes, I'd also add, do not fold your arms. That is
Mm-hmm.
negative body language that says,
Yeah.
no, stay away. I'm uncomfortable. I am afraid. I am not receptive.
Mm-hmm.
So don't fold your arms. Be, kind of open and approachable. And yes, I would say yes to all of those little signals. They're helpful, right? We don't
Mm-hmm.
have to kind of like think we have to crack some code. It's like, it shouldn't be that hard to figure out if a person is even interested, curious, to even just talk to you, even romantic or not. Also, here's another one. Look at where her toes, her feet are pointed. When you are talking, this is a good one. And this is true. Whenever you're talking to anybody, I don't care if it's a neighbor on the street, if their feet are pointed away from you, that means they don't want to spend too much time talking to you.
I have never heard
They,
that. That is so interesting.
yeah, and it's kind of true. And the minute I read it, I sort of put it to practice, and now I kind of look and see if people's feet are pointed in another direction, they're not in it to hang out with you and talk. They
Yeah.
kind of want to move on,
Yeah.
get a move on.
Well, and like you said, the cracking the code, a lot of this is obvious. What I think this kind of stuff does when we talk about it, though, maybe more so, it helps build someone's confidence. Sometimes you have to be reminded to look for this kind of stuff, because it is, dating can be very hurtful, very, very
Of course.
frustrating, as you well know.
Of course,
And
yes.
so being reminded of this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
hopefully this is good for both men and women, maybe to think about just a little bit.
Yeah.
Finally here, she reaches out first, meaning that she actually, she starts the date. She asks you out.
There you go. There it is. It's a
The
lock.
Yeah, and he says here that it takes a lot for a woman to actually do that. So if she does, she's probably nervous about it, just like you are. Let's briefly touch on that, because we're going to do a whole segment on this. Should a woman reach out first?
Yes. 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 You have
Well,
to,
that was
Donna.
simple.
You have to. You have to.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the way dating is going. And I have I'm evolving on this because I have to, because it's the world we're living in.
Mm-hmm.
We're living in a post Me Too world, dating world.
Yep.
And the rules are different now. And so a lot of those old school rules have flown out the window, and now we have to adapt. And women have way more, power and ability to assert themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's appropriate. It's nice. It's welcomed. It takes a lot of pressure off the guys
Mm-hmm.
these days. But I want to just make a general sort of for both sexes, a piece of advice that I think
Mm-hmm.
would be really handy and really
Okay.
beneficial. Whether you're a woman approaching a man or a man approaching a woman, and you see that person from across, and this is a cold approach. This is what they call a cold approach. Okay. It's not, you haven't yet met the person. You see the person. Okay. And maybe you're inching your way toward that person, but you're not actually engaged in a conversation yet. So here's what I would do, man or woman. I would approach that person. First, I would look for the signals that we talked about. You know, body language. Are they smiling? Are they already laughing? Do they look like they're having a good time? Do they have their arms?
Approachable is what you're trying.
Okay, yeah. So I would say I would do everything with a preface these days. I would preface the approach and say, this might be a little awkward, but if you don't mind, I just have to say, you're a very attractive woman, or this is very awkward for me. I've never done this before, or I'm getting used to doing it this way. But if you don't mind me saying to you or asking you, you see what I'm saying? It's sort of, you're asking permission in a charming way. You're not just invading their space. And as a woman, I would say that. I would say, you know what, maybe this is not like, this is new to me, or this is used to be, you couldn't do this, but now I'm going to do this because I'm going to do this. I'm going to tell you, you're a very attractive guy, or something to that effect. Do you see what I'm saying? That
Absolutely.
kind of takes the pressure off of everybody. And it's a nice, warm kind of an introduction. You're saying, may I? Can I step up? May I approach you? And who wouldn't appreciate that? So that's something, think of the preface before you make your move.
Well, Treva, lots to think about here. I think this is a great topic because both sexes, always wonder, especially when you're out dating, are they into I know it sounds juvenile, but we think about it. So hopefully there were a few gems in here today. Treva, thank you again so much. Make sure that you pick up that book. I love your book. It's such a funny, fabulous, and informative read. And Treva, I look so forward to having you back again soon on Second Act TV.
Thank you so much. Love being here. Love you.